All right, and we're live here at Lucky 13 Saloon podcast at Lucky 13 Saloon. We got some special guests here today. We have the usual Andy Davis.
Hello.
We have James Ryder here from Ryder.
What's up?
And Kevin Scandato from Castle Heights. Blackthorn
Ace
booking.
of Clubs.
There you go. All over the place. Big booking guy from New York City. Everybody knows who Kevin is. If
There you
you
go.
played
Thanks
New
for
York
having
City.
us, man. Good to be here.
Good to see you guys, man. How you guys doing through this whole fucking
Well, I told you
Pandemic.
we're talking about testing, and I just said my patients are being tested of being locked down for another. What was it? June 13th. Now they're saying until we get to phase one.
Yeah.
It's tedious. It's like anything else. I mean, everyone's a good soldier for the first month, and then the second month you're kind of like, this is getting a little bit much. Now going into the third month is like, this is a bit much.
Yeah.
It's normal. I think it's normal for anybody to say that. Who's happy about the situation?
Yeah, nobody is. Everybody's getting fucking antsy. We opened up here for the first time this past weekend to do like to-go drinks, and Saturday was fucking busy, man. Like people were just like out hanging on the sidewalk, and
great.
And it was really cool, but it was also stressful. You know what I mean? Because people are like, once they get a buzz on, they're not fucking social distancing, and the masks are coming off, and then they keep trying to come up to the door and fucking without a mask. I'm like, put your fucking mask on.
It's bad when the masks come off. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's when shit goes down.
Yeah, fucking A. And like people want to come up and start close talking to me too. I'm like, yo, fucking back the fuck up. What the fuck?
And you feel bad to do that, but you just you have it in your head about what's got to be and what should be, and have everybody adhere to the same rules and protocol. But you're gonna have people who are just gonna outlaw it and do what they want to do. And what are you gonna do, parent? People have to take personal responsibility to do stuff.
Well, they're doing
They
their
do.
patriotic duty by not wearing masks.
Yeah. Well, we it was like people. We had one complaint. We had some woman went across the street and like, listen, I don't believe her. Like, listen, if you don't want to fucking social distance, that's your fucking business. Stay away from me. But if you guys want to fucking huddle in your corners away from the front of the bar, do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? That's your own personal choice. And people they were going across the street. People were like halfway down the block hanging out.
Going to Canal Bar and buying one there and drinking it back here. But you shouldn't drink outside.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, the cops aren't busting balls, but this woman like went and like across the street and started snapping pictures, and my buddy too was like, there's a woman across the street fucking snapping pictures. I'm like, oh Jesus, and I knew all of a sudden she started calling us out on Instagram. She's like, you guys are the problem. She started saying it's white privilege and all this kind of shit.
She said it was white.
One of
white
those.
supremacy.
Yeah, she said fucking
White
white
supremacy.
She hashtag fuck white supremacy.
Wow.
And dude, I'm telling you, 90% of the crowd was Latino and black. And I'm like,
that's
a lot of our customers are Latino, and Melody is Latino.
That's right.
The fucking owner here. So
I've dated black women.
yeah, that you can't be racist then. Yeah.
I'm very much attracted to Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. So whatever. Melody actually wrote to her and was like, "Yo, who the balls on you?" And this is like a white woman from Vermont. You know what I mean? Like who?
Vermont. Jesus.
Yeah. In her like profile, it says like striving to be anti-racist. Like you have issues. You know what I mean?
Did she come here with an agenda? I mean, did she just happen to be, or this was a planned thing?
She was riding around on her city bike, and I'm sure she saw the crowd.
I love it when people are like taking pictures of other people being outside, saying, "How dare you be outside?" So, where the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't get it. It boggles the mind. How can you?
Hello, kettle. I'm pot. You're black.
Yeah, exactly.
That's racist.
I got no problem with people going outside as long as you're smart about it. You're not
I think
fucking.
people should go outside, but wear a mask and when you're not around people. I mean, you need some fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking depressing.
Well, let me ask you. So I was asking Andy. I ask you, obviously. When did they green light? Like you can do to go things. Was it always that way, or they eased up on things? Like what's the protocol now?
So apparently, like it started pretty early on. Not really on, like a month in or so. They started doing it that you could do to go drinks. With food. So we are serving food also. We're doing our like tater tots and mozzarella sticks and all that kind of stuff. But so the laws are kind of weird right now. Listen, a lot of these bars up on Fifth Avenue, I saw had bigger crowds than we did, and there's multiple bars in a row.
Yeah.
So there's like, listen, I'm glad we're off the avenue and we only had like small little pockets of people. The cops, actually rode by and just waved to us, so As long as we keep people away from the front door.
Yeah.
I heard Williamsburg and the Upper East Side was a fucking shit show over the weekend. People were out. Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful out over the weekend.
Yeah, it was
really
gorgeous
Trying
out.
to keep people in.
Well, yeah, and it's Memorial Weekend coming up this weekend. I wonder how, maybe we were just talking in the car on our way here, how it's going to be this weekend. I wonder how it's be for you, how it's going to be in general for people going out or thinking that, hey, let's just start living again. This is the first holiday weekend since this happened.
Yeah.
I mean, sans Easter weekend. This was right in the middle of it. But I wonder how people's attitude is going to be. And as it gets warmer, it's going to be more and more uncomfortable to wear that face mask. I was telling you, I can't imagine wearing that in 90 degrees on your face. So I don't know when they'll lift that, maybe June 13th, but it's already, you can see it's starting to get hotter. And it's about June 3rd, by the time it's June 13th, it'll hit some 90-degree days. No doubt about it.
Oh, definitely. And it's going to start getting uncomfortable. People are going to want to get the fuck outside. It's I don't know, man. Like it's fucking crazy. Who knows when this fucking thing's going to open back up again?
By then, my next door neighbors will have killed each other.
Yeah.
I live in the Chinese neighborhood over in Sunset Park.
Okay.
And in the building next to me, because everybody's windows are open now.
Yeah.
Up on the up on the next floor. It started off at the beginning of the pandemic. About once a week, you'd hear these two fight. Just they get into it pretty good about 10 o'clock at night for about 15 minutes, and then it would stop. The next week, same thing. It would go on a little longer. Then it became 3 or 4 times a week. And now it's every day. You can almost set your watch by it. And it's starting to get, but it's all the lady like beating the shit out of him.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh.
Awesome. Awesome. Listen, I was up on when first couple of weeks this started and we were doing some work over here, I was up on the roof because we had a leak and there was a couple fighting on the block. I mean, fist fighting. I mean, like going at it. And then afterwards I get down off the roof and the guy's trying to sell me his girl. He's like, hey, you want a fucking blowjob for my girl? I'm like, I'm
was
good,
it a good
man.
deal? Or
But then, I didn't ask. I didn't ask the prices. I'm like, I'm good, man.
You didn't get the prices. I didn't get the prices.
Should have at least asked the prices.
Yeah, I should have got a price sheet.
Well, that's what they were clearly
turn down a
arguing
good
about,
bargain.
the prices.
Yeah.
Clearly, that was the problem.
They were literally like fist fighting in the fucking street. And at first, when I saw him take a swing at her, I was like getting tight, like, maybe I should go down. And then I saw her fucking cold cock him too. Like, no, they were going at it. It was pretty,
It's funny. I have a couple of friends who are cops, and I asked them, is it, the narrative is that you're answering more domestic violence calls. That's not true. He goes, oh, no, it's true. It's totally true. Because I thought, they're just, the news kind of, goes with a narrative. Because people are getting on each other's nerves, and he says mostly family, brothers fighting, sisters, roommates. They're breaking up a lot of fights, Social distancing guidelines, forcing that, and breaking up family disputes has been like number one on the protocol.
And fucking suicides have gone up like crazy too.
Suicides and car break-ins.
Have they? Yeah, suicides.
Car break-ins, I
was wondering, I didn't hear too much about anything like that. I mean, not in New York at least. I didn't know if the suicide rate was actually up.
Oh yeah, it's up.
Is it up?
It's way up. Yeah, I've actually through other people, I've known 3 people who have killed themselves already.
Wow.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Out of the despair of this stuff, of business.
Some despair. I think the despair of this, and then. One of the guys I know, I don't want to get too much into it,
sure.
but one of the guys I know, he was going through a lot of personal problems with his family and all that kind of stuff, and he did, and then another guy kind of had a little bit of health problems, and he's stuck in his house by himself, and you know what I mean? And I heard the suicide rate has gone up like fucking crazy. They used to answer like 1 call a week, and now it's up to like 5 or 6 calls a week to answer.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that they discounted a lot of people who, where people will say, well, some people are making better out on unemployment than they would if they were actually working.
Yeah. But
then you got the tale of 2 cities. There's a group of people who are not making anything.
Yeah.
Have to borrow money. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
A bunch of us. I'm in that boat too. And, because then you're like, we'll get past this. It's short term. And then you go on the news and you see this could be all year. No concerts till 2020. 2022 we might. And you're saying to yourself, but this is not factual. The media's just saying this, and you say to yourself, and you discount it. It's bullshit. I stopped watching the news at one point.
I stopped watching too.
And then you have your friends saying to you, well, what do you do? They're literally your bar or booking or band career is over.
Yeah.
Well, why would it be over?
Yeah.
So it's like the statistics and what's actually happening now, even with the death count, it's not dictate that it ruins our industry. I don't think so.
No, and listen, it's funny. Like there was
changes it, but does not eliminate it.
Yeah, no. There's a metal website that I look at all the time, and I had to stop looking at that too because they're like, a lot of bands are not going to come back from this. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're not going to come back from this. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a little much.
Smart bands are sitting around writing some good material right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. There's some good shit going
Well,
on.
you guys
Not-
are in
not-
bands. I mean, let's ask you guys. All you three guys are in bands. I mean, what have you been taking the time writing new songs? You think this is a time to kind of regroup and actually come back with new material
Yeah,
and a real,
it's perfect.
a real strong, kind of almost like a determination to come back stronger.
My band's really slow at writing stuff. I mean, we came up with maybe 5 new songs in the past 2 years. So I've got a ton of riffs I'm just sitting around writing right now. I can't wait to get together with the guys. I mean, we're not going to have a show coming up right away anyway.
Right.
Might as well just go, okay, let's take a couple of days, see what works, and try to come up with a bunch of stuff.
What about yourself, James? You've been
I
writing?
mean, as far as riffs go, yeah, writing riffs, writing lyrics. A lot of what I've been doing is because we do have a record coming out. It was supposed to come out this month, but we pushed it to August because of everything going on. And, what we've been doing is we've been focusing on, marketing ourselves to like the international markets, like the UK and other stuff, because we would never normally talk to them, throughout the course of a day. Either we would be at work or asleep while they're doing stuff. So
Right.
we've been focusing kind of on that. So we've been staying busy.
Nice. Yeah, man. I think it's a great time to write. Like, we got a new guitar player.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so we've been working with him and, whatever, kind of getting ready for once this thing fucking opens up, we can start doing shows again too. So I don't know. And I've definitely got some new riffs going on. And I'm the same. We're the same way writing wise. It takes us a long time to write fucking songs, but shit's coming out.
And is it almost dollars to donuts that Megadeth gets the COVID-19 title for their next album?
Oh, yeah. yeah.
It would be Megadeth back in the day. I don't know who gets it now, but
Yeah.
someone's gonna have an whole theme about that or something.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there's going to be a whole bunch of this fucking shit going on. It's going to be fucking, it's definitely going to influence music.
Yeah, the whole everyone's gonna be writing about lockdowns and I mean, it's almost like a redoing of the grunge era.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think
yeah.
about it, kind of like.
Yeah.
Downtrodden songs and stuff. Even though I think once we're back, it'll be more of I don't know if it's going to be an upswing in music, but I think a lot of things that are being written now obviously have to do with what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And if you believe that you're literally going to be, I mean, again, you can't listen to anybody. What everyone's spouting off is opinions, not facts.
Yeah.
Someone to say, well, clearly there's not going to be any bars. The clubs are finished. I'm like, according to who?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Not
Did anybody
for
actually
nothing.
say that?
Yeah.
But it's scary to me when bands push that narrative. I think I was not happy with certain bands and certain club owners, you're not one of them, of pushing that and posting that. I'm like, you're going against your own business. It's like, shows might not come back. I'm like, that's kind of why would you do that? If
Yeah,
you're working
no,
in the
we got-
Some
industry?
comedian had said, like, what's this, like, it should be every 2 weeks. Keep it there. We like that. We have something to look forward to. Pretend it's every 2 weeks, and we're looking forward to opening in 2 weeks. And even though we know it's bullshit, but we can get past that. If you start saying it's the end of the year, everyone's going to give up.
It's fucking depressing, and that's what I'm holding out. Like every week, I'm like, all right, in 2 weeks, man, things are gonna start getting back to normal, and that's why I don't think it's gonna happen, but like in my head, I have to go there because I can't fucking watch the news and be like, yo, there's gonna be no shows in 2020. There's not gonna be anything. Whatever. I can't fucking feed into that.
Well, you said yourself, like you would have mornings that were like really rough, that you would, like just be like just totally frustrated. I felt the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Because people would ask me, what do you think? Because I'm around 28 years in the business.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I'm like, this is nothing like 9/11, Hurricane Sandy. I have no idea. What you say to me can be just as important as what I say to you.
Yeah.
It's totally just an opinion.
Yeah.
But I know, if someone says to me, like younger bands will say to me, Kev, you really think there don't be any shows for the rest of the year? I'm like, no, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I says, do I believe the majority of summer shot? Yeah. Do I believe we can maybe come back in August? Yeah. Me and Andy and James were talking about before you got here that there has to be like a buffer zone month of preparation because everyone's got to get rebooked. I don't believe we'll book much nationals for the remaining year because they'll regroup for next year.
Right.
We'll have to rely on a lot of local shows, I think. I think we all can probably agree.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Which is
yeah,
not
yeah.
a bad
Great
thing.
time for
local.
Yeah,
For a
it's gonna
place
be
like
great for
Lucky
local
13, that's not a
smaller
bad thing.
bands are definitely going to benefit from this.
Step
I
up the
think-
game,
I
local
think-
bands.
Yeah.
You'll see national bands. I think will probably, and this is just my speculation here. You'll see a lot of national bands become regional for like a time period. Like I think it'll probably be a thing where if you wanted to see like a Faster Pussycat or LA Guns, you might have to fly over to the West Coast to see them because it doesn't. I don't know who's going to have the money to pay them to come over here.
Yeah. And listen, we're lucky that we're we focus a lot on local bands
we
here
do,
anyway. So I think we're fortunate in that aspect of it. But
We're lucky we're in New York where there's tons of good local bands.
exactly.
But if you're Gramercy Theater, or you're any place that's over 1,000 cap, you got some. You definitely have a lot of restructuring to do.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about how you're going to fill it, maybe parties or rentals and DJ. I mean, but then again, will they cut the caps down? Because I'm hearing also 1,000 capacity venues could become 500 capacity venues.
Yeah.
But I don't know about all that. Again, that's just speculation. There's nothing official on that because someone was telling me, well, Kev, you work in a lot of 300, 200, 300 cap venues. You'll be fine. I'm like, well, who says that? Well, because they're saying that, the small clubs will probably be left alone. The bigger venues are going to be gutted. But that's just rumor mill stuff. There's no one who actually said that. You know what I mean? Gramercy's finished. Lucky 13's fine. I wish someone would come out and say that, but they're not going to say that.
Yeah, no. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Yeah,
we don't know
we
what's
don't
going to
know.
happen.
The internet's going to say something, so it's going to be true to say.
I'm hoping. Listen, I'm hoping for a fucking cure. You know what I mean? I'm hoping for a vaccine to come out, and within the next couple months, and we can get this freaking shit back on track.
And then you'll have the people who refuse the vaccine because they think the government is putting cameras in the bloodstream.
Well, in the meantime, one thing you can do is go get tested. Go get tested for antibodies. Go get tested for the virus.
Yeah.
I've done it. Mine came back positive, which means I had it. We talked about that last week. But Jeff just went.
I just went on Monday and had it. I just went on Monday and got tested. The line was fucking huge, but it moved really quickly.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. It moved. Me and Melody went on Monday, and it was funny. So the line. I first looked at the line, and I'm like, holy shit.
It's like 1990 again, getting tickets.
And I'm like, at first, I'm like, if Melody wasn't there, I might have just turned around and went home. But I really wanted to get it done. But then when we stood in line, it was moving very quickly. But it was really funny. So they're keeping everybody 6 feet apart. And this dude in front of us obviously didn't plan on staying that long because whatever, this tall dude fucking walks out of line. And this girl just jumps right in his fucking place, right in front of us. And I'm like, do you know that guy? And she's like, no, but he left, so I'm taking his place. No, you're not taking his place. Get the fuck out of it. And Melody Melody was having none of it. Melody was like, you need to get the fuck out of line right now. I'm not dealing with this fucking shit. And fucking just walks right around the woman. She's like, get the fuck back in line. But yeah, it was really funny. But they we were there for about 40 minutes, and it went by pretty quickly. And they went in, they took your blood, and then I'm supposed to get results back by Friday. And I hope I got it from Andy.
Or the other way around.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Andy was sucking my dick, so I hope
I was blowing into it.
What's the cost of it if you don't
it was
have
free.
insurance? Oh, it's free?
It was free. Yeah, I don't have insurance. So.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I went
so
the week
everybody-
before when it would still cost $250. But
$250, wow.
Yeah.
But I also was in and out of there in fucking 10 minutes. So
Yeah, you have insurance also, though, right?
I do not have insurance.
Oh, you don't?
Sarah has insurance, so we both went. So we're splitting it. It's gonna be $125 for me.
All right.
And City MD, let's see if they can find me. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, James, you can tell your story dealing with the COVID and stuff with your family.
Oh yeah, no, it was. My dad had it.
Oh, no.
My dad had it. Both of my godparents passed away.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
They were in their early 90s, and luckily my dad's fine now. He's healthy, doesn't have it.
Didn't have to be hospitalized.
Didn't have to be hospitalized. He was just quarantined at home. We kind of put up like a shower partition, like a curtains or whatever, to keep him away. And
Right.
everything else was fine. No one else.
Don't let the
got
pets
sick.
in there.
But to anyone who comments and says, "Oh, this is a hoax," because I've had people from other parts contact me and, "Oh yeah, is coronavirus real? Like, do you know anybody who's happened?" Yeah,
From
I
other
do.
states.
Yeah, I had one of my cousins actually freaking posted like, anybody know anybody that actually has this fucking thing? I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of people who have had it.
Yeah.
What's crazy is there was a guy here this weekend who works in a nursing home, and he said a nursing home in Queens, and he said when it started they had 400 residents in the nursing home. Now they have 100. He said they fucking 300 people died from it.
You don't go through that many in a nursing home.
No,
normal.
No. And listen, he said people die. He said people die every week at the nursing home.
Yeah,
he said, but he was
the first
stacking.
line.
Yeah, he was stacking bodies on top of bodies, and like he knew he was going to end up getting it and he did end up getting it. But yeah, he said he was just stacking bodies on top of bodies. So.
I mean, but I think it's like anything else. I mean, I think it's the elderly and the infirmed and the people like that are going to be the first to be victimized by this. I mean, it's pretty apparent. So that's why I thought it was so, they were very mistaken. It was funny when it first happened. I don't know if you guys remember. I remember they were saying ethnicity-wise, it was mostly affecting like older seniors. It wasn't like But then it was. I remember I had a friend who was an African-American friend of mine who works on the wrestling show, and he says, "Yeah, it's not a thing going, joking around, going after black people." And then it started going after minorities.
Well, I don't think with Latinos. It was like,
but when it first hit, it was like it wasn't the case. And then it was like, children are immune. And then there was some other strain. Now there's something going on.
The Kawasaki disease. With
now Kawasaki.
So everyone's making these calls. Everyone's making these calls about it, and that's why you can't really listen to anything. It's so new that no one, even Fauci.
They don't.
Even the Fauci guy, he knows what he knows as he goes along because it's new. When something's new, who can be an expert on something new?
Yeah,
there's no.
Are you guys buying all the the conspircy fucking videos? Have you guys watched any of those?
I've watched Pandemic.
You did.
I watched a couple.
I'm not going to waste my goddamn.
You know what though? Like I love a good conspiracy theory. I really do. If it sticks, you know what I mean.
Well, this one stuck.
It didn't. Well, like if it's good though, look, I have to say, like it was. Melody is. I love talking to Melody about this stuff because she's a great researcher. She really is. Right. And so I actually sent her that Pandemic thing. I say, hey, what do you think of this? I would never fucking post anything like, hey guys, I see people on Facebook posting like, yo, you believe this shit? And it's like, dude, research it a little bit.
Yeah.
So Melody ended up researching and debunked half of the stuff that was on there about this woman.
Oh, it was so far fetched. It's just like, oh yeah, well this is a plan because during the AIDS crisis, well AIDS is different from fucking COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
I don't look. People are going to believe what they want to believe. My philosophy is, unless you are an expert in the field and you are doing the research and you have the knowledge, don't fucking talk.
Yeah,
well, I'm still wearing a mask when I'm out because it's still not proven if you have the antibodies that you can't get it again.
Oh, correct.
And what I had, what I didn't know was it at the time, what really, really, really fucking sucked was bad enough. It's 95% sure I could probably go out and I'll be fine. That 5% is still not good enough for me.
Yeah, they still don't know that if you can't get it or not. Huh?
They don't know. It's a mystery. Again, you can't. Who can be an expert on something? It's a mystery.
Andy, why don't you test it out? Go into a fucking nursing home.
Test it out.
Go into a nursing home. Like, hey, just want to bring you guys.
I didn't wash my butthole today. Well, I said that on the podcast. I mean, I have an extremely clean butthole.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, whatever, man. Let's hope this is fucking. But also too, the people thinking they're gonna get microchipped with the vaccine and all that kind of stuff. It's fucking.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
the reason why they're delaying the vaccine so much, they can't figure out how to give you autism yet.
Yeah, exactly. Man. But yeah, it's come on, man. And then they're that the government is doing this to make money off the fucking vaccine. They make money off our taxes. That's how they make fucking money.
Who trusts the government?
I don't. But to actually cripple the economy like this, come on,
Yeah. Well, that's a good conspiracy theory.
Brainless drones, through vaccines. We already got a bunch of people who just refuse to wear a goddamn mask. Yeah. When you're told it might help spread a disease, and you're already perfect for the fucking job.
Yeah.
Dude, I was out on Long Island this week. I live out on Long Island, the Queens Long Island border. There are people fucking protesting in East Meadow.
Oh yeah,
there are people protesting in
That's going to happen though with anything though.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to happen with anything.
And listen, I'm at the point where I understand people are getting frustrated, but if you want to go out and you want to fucking do your shit and put your life at risk, go for it. But don't put other people at risk by not wearing masks and all this kind of shit.
Well, not only that, if you're going to put people at risk and you're going to put yourself at risk.
Yeah.
Don't be a pussy about it. Go all the way. Yeah. You're complaining about masks. I see some of these protesters wearing gloves and masks, holding signs and protesting.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I was sat out in front of here. I sat out in front of Lucky 13 all weekend, and I was masked up and gloved up and stuff, but my girlfriend, I came home. I'm getting allergies really bad now.
I got them too.
Yeah,
the pollen's horrible.
Took a leg rub before I came here. Actually.
Yeah.
Just don't go on the subway and cough. You'll clear the fucking.
Oh yeah, no. Let's go. I'm gonna take the subway anyway. So
they'll go sit next to the guy who shit on himself.
But I came home the other night and I was like, my nose is running, my eyes are burning, and she's all freaked out because I was here all weekend. I'm like, listen, I'm fine. I know it's fucking allergies. Don't freak out. I we have hand sanitizer on the bar. I was
Yeah.
using all the time and shit. So.
Well, as long as you're not injecting it.
No, exactly. I'll try that. If I get it,
You should certainly do that.
yeah, definitely.
inject sanitizer.
Yeah, with a side shot of bleach.
You should come up with a new cocktail for Lucky 15, the Trump team.
Yeah.
Just garnish it with
Trump.
Yeah.
Well, that's so 2016.
Yeah.
But I stopped completely watching the Cuomo daily updates. I haven't watched
yeah, I
one
don't
in the
know.
longest time.
Is he still doing them? I don't even know.
I believe he's
Yeah,
still doing
I
it.
watched the
It's
one.
same
They
thing.
come up on my YouTube thing.
I don't watch it
I got all
anymore.
these little news snippets and stuff.
It's to me, it's nothing. Here's the thing I want to hear. When we're getting back, I already know everything he said already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, the thing about that is, what did they predict? 200,000 deaths in America, and now it's like
At
up to
first.
80 or something. At
Now,
first,
I,
right?
now
They're
I
over
think
90 now.
they're
Over
they're
90 now, right?
predicting- I think they're predicting 140.
But again, I don't know how anybody can even predict. You know what I mean? Because some
Yeah.
people are like, see, it's half, and other people are like, it's almost 100,000. I'm
And
like,
it also
yeah.
depends
But
on what
again,
happens
it-
when you reopen stuff.
But,
Yeah,
but it's,
I don't know.
it's also
Yeah.
too like listen, like the medical the insurance companies are making money off this kind
Oh,
of
of
shit.
course
Oh,
they
my
are.
They're
They
making a
definitely
shit ton of.
are.
So
I know
one-
people in the profession who said that they are.
Well, yeah. So the guy I was saying that worked in a nursing home, he said it was fucked up that the nursing home that he was in, like when those people were dying, their family members would call and check up on them, and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, is so and so okay?" And they're like, "Yes, they're fine. Don't worry about it." Meanwhile, they've been dead for 3 days. They're waiting for the insurance company to kick in again, and then they'll call them and tell them they're dead. So they got that extra month of insurance. They were actually on the news for it and all that kind of shit.
Jesus
So.
Christ.
But it's fucked up too. And another guy that was here, his aunt had died from it. She was in her 90s also. But he said, when they first told her, they said it wasn't COVID that she had passed away from. But then
Right.
when they got the death certificate, it said
was
COVID
list-
on it. So.
That's a little disturbing. I know
Yeah.
some EMTs and a couple of people who work for FDNY who told me that was going on, and I'm like, but why would they do that? It's like even it's just so ghoulish, and again, you don't know what to believe,
Yeah, you don't know what to
because
believe.
everything gets politicized no matter which way it
Oh,
goes.
yeah.
and
Unless
this
you're
is-
there, you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
No, you don't.
And the virus don't give a fuck what you believe.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
look at what happened, the progression of it. Oh, it's for old people. People got it.
Yeah.
Then, kids are immune.
It's only in
this
cities.
rash going around. So you don't know. You don't know what this virus is. You don't know what it's going to turn into. Anyone who's saying, "Oh yeah, COVID," it's either a hoax or it's not.
No, it's not the
And it's not the
it's
hoax.
not-
We don't know.
It's a new disease that we don't know about, and we're always afraid of things that we don't know or can't control. It's typical. It's typical human nature.
We want control over it. We want that certainty. We don't know that certainty. A lot of people are going apeshit because they rationalize what's going on. It's so important.
That's where you get like pandemic. It's, everyone's trying to. There's so many questions unanswered, so we have to make up the answers and make it all stick.
Yeah. It just sucks. Like I feel bad for, a lot of businesses are not coming back from this.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Pier
it's-
1 is done forever.
Yeah, Pier 1
That's
is done.
amazing.
Hobby Lobby or something like that. That's
I feel like
done
I should have
also.
shopped at Pier 1 a little
I
more.
think I've been to Hobby Lobby once.
Yeah.
I was a Michael's guy, but
I like Michael's also.
I prefer Hobby Patio.
Yeah, there's a lot of places on. I mean, and a lot of small businesses aren't coming back. A lot of these Chinese restaurants and stuff like that.
They
they're
were
not
hurting
coming back.
before this, because
Yeah.
people were afraid as of January on.
Yeah,
I mean, they were like, I don't know if I'm going to go there. I know the ones I live in Fresh Meadows, a ton of Chinese restaurants. It's an Asian community.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine works there. Is like, no business. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
None. I was like, wow. It's a
Meanwhile,
shame.
you
It's
buy
a
a
shame.
Trump hat that was made in China, and that's fine.
Sorry, I don't know.
I'm sorry. That's my
I listen. I've been eating Chinese food as much as possible. I find one open, I'm fucking eating it.
Oh, have you?
I wish Diane, my girlfriend, liked fucking Chinese food.
Oh, she doesn't like it?
She doesn't like Chinese food. So when I was here all weekend, I ordered Chinese food both days I was here.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, so you guys got any good new local bands that you've heard of that you'd like to plug on the?
We could plug Ryder.
I mean,
He's here.
I could go into business for myself.
Yeah, he could.
Myself.
Yeah.
You might have
Let's
opened
talk
up a
about
dangerous
your
door
band.
there.
Get off the doom and gloom.
Have you guys
talk about some music?
Have you guys got to rehearse at all? Like,
No, we haven't. We haven't gotten to rehearse because what happened is someone in our rehearsal studio, because we rehearse in Whitestone,
Yeah.
had COVID and had to shut it down for a bit and clean it and do whatever. And now it's since reopened. They have, you know, the Purell stations and stuff all in there, so they've definitely cleaned the place. But no, we're kind of taking the precaution doing that because, you know, all of us live with people who are at risk, either have asthma or have whatever. And, you know, I want to wait to see what happens. I want New York to start reopening first before we start doing stuff because we're a traveling band. This time last year, I think we were driving from Dallas to Oklahoma, dodging tornadoes.
Yeah, it was last year this time. It was
last year to the day, literally.
Yeah.
And it was just, we're a traveling band, and it's like, you know, that's what's been kind of, you know, bothering me is like, you know, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, what's gonna happen
I've been
from
getting offers, you know, states that have opened up have been reaching out to me. Oh, do you want to come? Do you want to play? Do you want to do this? And, you know, the gripe that I'm having is like, yeah, no, the money's great. Like, you know, for whatever it is, like I you know, on an economical standpoint, like I would be stupid not to do it. But on a moral standpoint,
yeah, if you lived alone, it'd be a different.
If I lived alone, yeah, I could make a killing doing a, you know, a COVID tour right now and playing the places that are open. But, you know, I don't want to be that guy, you know, say, God forbid I'm a carrier. Oh, you're from New York, the hardest hit. You're bringing it to us.
Yeah.
Or even worse, the people here, oh, wait, you're coming from there. They reopen. You're going to bring it back here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking weird time, man. I was actually talking about doing a road trip. A friend of mine is in California, and he's like got this big house with a pool. He's like, dude, you guys want to come stay for a couple of days? But he had it really bad.
Right.
And he's like, and my girlfriend doesn't want to get it. He's like, so before you come, you got to get tested, and you're not flying. He's like, if you want to drive, he's like, I will fucking pay for your rent-a-car, and then you can fly back home. And I'm like, fucking, I'd be totally down. I would love to drive cross country, but I'm thinking like, they see New York plates coming through there. People are gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
I've been lucky with before all of this. I haven't tried it since. I'm sure now, as soon as they, you know, see me, and, you know, if I went to Rhode Island, I'd be detained.
Yeah.
The governor would personally interrogate me, but you know, but I've never had problems with that. Like going to other states. The only time I ever got pulled over was in Oklahoma. It was last year at the Rocklahoma Festival. They pulled me over because I had a taillight out. I'm going to say it was 5 seconds. Just pulled over. Sir, you got a taillight out. Oh, thanks. That was it.
Nice.
We don't want your kind around here.
I got pulled over.
Very friendly.
I got pulled over in Sturgis last year, and I got arrested. I was there for 6 hours, and I got fucking arrested.
For what?
Growing up in Iowa City.
I had something in my pocket I shouldn't have had in my pocket. Just say it like that.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, but it was my own fault, but it was stupid. They had no reason to fucking pull us over. But I have to say, living in New York, like where I grew up on South Shore, Massachusetts, like very kind of white area, like, and me looking the way I did, I used to, as a teenager, I used to get pulled over all the time, and like my car would get ripped apart, searched, everything like that. When I moved to New York, I don't have that issue here. The minorities, unfortunately, have that issue here. I don't get my car torn apart. So I got fucking spoiled in New York. So when I went to fucking Sturgis, to the Dakotas, and I like forget that, you know, I stick out a little bit more in a group of fucking white people. You know what I mean? And I'm going to get pulled over before the other guy gets pulled over. And I got pulled over and searched and fucking had shit in my pocket. That
I actually have a funny police story in Massachusetts. We were staying at the Motel 6 in Leominster.
All right.
And we went to the Cumberland just to get some snacks and some drinks.
Cumberland Farms.
Yep. And we're coming back, like we're literally like an inch away from the parking lot of the Motel 6. Police guy, see the sirens, pull over. All right. Police officer comes over, you know, what are you doing? And I point to the motel. I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. And he's like, oh, well, you know, you were going 20 and a 15. I'm like, are you really going to write me a ticket for 5 miles per hour? And I'm right fucking here. And luckily he was cool. He let me go.
Oh, that's good.
So I didn't have to go far.
Massachusetts state troopers are known to be pretty brutal. So.
I had a good one in Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan. We were driving I grew up in Iowa City. Actually, I want to say real quick, so when we were growing up in Iowa City, college town, if you saw the van outside of Gabe's Oasis that had New York plates, you wanted to go to that show that night. That meant some fucking band drove all the way from New York. Anyway, so we drove from Iowa City to Kalamazoo, Michigan, because Tad, remember Tad?
I remember
Band Tad, yeah, Seattle
Tad
band,
and
yeah.
Helios Creed were playing.
Oh, I know.
And they weren't
Okay, I
coming
know
anywhere
those.
near, so we're like, fuck it, let's take a road trip. We took a bunch of acid. It was like an 8-hour drive, but we had 2 cars, we had 2 sober drivers, and then we had like, I don't know, 10, 12 people. We're all just getting wasted in the car. And we made it all the way to Kalamazoo, and we stopped off for some snacks and to get some directions to a hotel. And they pulled up this one, like, really right around the corner, but they went the wrong way up a runway for just like, not like a quarter of a block to get into this driveway. And they get lit up. Like,
Dumb.
Yeah.
fucking, there's the cops. And we're like, fuck, we got a car full of drugs. And we're all like open containers, and we have sober drivers. And anyway, the cops were just cool. Like, they asked for directions for the hotel.
Wow.
And they were really nice.
They
So
didn't
we're
fuck
like,
with you?
okay. So we went to the hotel, and then we pulled to the hotel. It said, getting dark out now. And up comes the same fucking cop and lights us up again. We're like, oh, it was a trap. It was a trap. He didn't want to do it in public. And all of a sudden, he comes out. He goes, hey, you forgot your license. Gave it to the guy who was driving the car.
Oh,
Shit,
geez.
That's
the whole
fucking
time.
awesome.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's awesome.
Damn. I wish I had that luck.
Man, that was a great show.
So
too.
speaking of Iowa, last time we played in Des Moines 2 years ago.
On Harry and
and-
Harry's?
Yeah. No, we were playing. I forgot where we were playing. It was a small bar in Des Moines, and we the next day we were driving. I think to not Missouri. I think we had the hotel in. No, we actually made the drive to Toledo, Ohio from
Okay.
Des Moines. So that was
So
a
you probably
long.
just were straight on.
Yeah,
I-80.
we drew straight on, and we got to like a little Love's like rest area in Davenport.
Yeah, the world's biggest truck stop.
Oh,
Yep.
my, I got a great story about that after you tell that.
So we get there, and it's like the clouds were like fucking ominous. There were fucking little flies everywhere, and we get out. I had to fucking pee really badly, and me and Billy get out, and Billy looks up. He's like, "Dude, you can smell the rain." I'm like, "Oh yeah, shit's gonna go down." So we get in the car, we make it real quick, and we start going. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, I look behind, fucking tornado.
Oh, shit. That's
You
wild.
can see in the rearview mirror. That's a fucking scary.
Oh
guy.
yeah. And when you're hauling a trailer, it's even worse because
Yeah.
you can only go. So
all
I
your
was
shit,
doing
too.
75,
Yeah.
so it's you have to do 55. But
But yeah, well, the fucking highways out there, though, too, like some of them are like 90 miles an hour, like I know on Dakotas and stuff like that.
Dakotas in Montana. Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's like,
90
I
miles an
fucking
hour. Yeah.
'cause I
They-
want you to move.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out.
And there's nothing else on the fucking road. But yeah, that world's fucking largest truck stop is not that impressive. It's like a fucking mall, basically.
It is. It's a big
It's
McDonald's.
a big mall, yeah. But it was funny because we stopped. So when I was coming back from Sturgis last year, we stopped at this gas station, and like this young kid, he's like, I don't know, 18-year-old kid behind the counter of like a gas station. And I was like, where's the world's largest truck stop? He's like, oh, dude, it's like a couple miles down the road. He's like, yo, that place is fucking awesome. He's like, it's got a big arcade in it, and it's so cool, man. You're gonna love it. And we get there, and like, dude, the arcade was like, I don't know, like a small New York City apartment bedroom. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like,
Okay.
it had like 5 video games in it. I'm like, yo, there ain't nothing to do out here because this kid was
Sad, because actually
He's making
Davenport's
out.
a fucking kind of a cool little town.
Oh, yeah.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
That kid just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
he was a kid. He was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was trying to impress us. You know what I mean? Like we were like, whatever.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Making it out to be like it's the fucking Mall of America
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
he's like,
and
oh,
then,
it's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
The Mall of America.
I had to convince one of the guys in the truck that had a strip club in it, and because he's like, "Come on, we're not stopping." I'm like, "Bro, it's got a strip club in it." He's like, "Oh yeah, it does."
Well, they got the lot lizards for sure. You know?
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
yeah, he
God.
probably could have
That's
got
the
a
first time I
blowjob.
ever saw like prostitutes. I was a kid. We were coming back from Chicago or something. And we stopped there and like all these, we're still with the family fucking truckster,
Yeah.
They're like, hey, like these fucking just weird cracked out ladies. And my dad's like, roll them up the windows, man.
Oh yeah. Nowadays, when you see them, it's like they're like fucking foxes. Like as soon as you roll down your window, they fucking like
Yeah, oh,
roach you.
yeah.
They
What about,
hide.
Shine a light on them. Like,
Yeah.
What you been doing? What you been doing with your time, Kevin? You've been watching movies, playing video games. What are you doing? In your
I don't
spare
play
time?
video games. I haven't played video games since Pitfall Harry in 1984. was the last time I played a video
Fuck, I
game.
forgot his name was Harry.
Yeah, remember that? Pitfall with the
yeah.
jumping
I
on the
remember
crocodiles'
Pitfall.
heads and
Bark,
shit.
bark,
Yeah,
bark,
that was
bark,
the last.
bark.
I never got into video. My brothers are into video games. I never got into it. Doing a lot of stuff with the wrestling podcast, the Anton and Kevin Castle Show, Castle Chronicles, KNT Chronicles. I'm guesting on shows left and right, metal shows from the UK and horror podcasts and movie podcasts. So I've been like a professional podcast guest.
Nice.
Just doing a lot of podcasting stuff, and the fan base has been there. I mean, I have to say that hasn't tapered off. Everyone is looking for stuff to do. So the podcast thing has been going well. It's been a lifesaver for me. I mean, just even talking to the fans and the supporters of those shows has been great for me. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I'd do, to be honest with you, because honestly, the club business wasn't doing much for employees, to be honest with you. There's not. I mean, you guys have done great by you. I was talking with Andy about it earlier. That thing with the GoFundMe was great. Splitting the money between that's great. Some clubs did that. Some clubs did not. I'm not looking to throw anybody under the bus, but I think everybody should have did that. That's up to each individual ownership to want to do that, because exactly, you don't want people feeling like. This is a time where my brother said it best. During a pandemic, you're going to act two ways. You're going to act really good to people, or you're going to show true colors and be a person that you do not want to associate post-pandemic anymore. And I see that too, even in podcasting. There's been even the fans like, "Oh, you guys okay in New York?" And they know we're New York based. And I got people sending me like cases of Bounty Scott towel and toilet paper in case you can't get any.
That's cool.
I told James, right, I would at random get deliveries to my door because I do a cat rescue. I don't know if you know about that.
I didn't know that.
And I've been doing it since 2007, since I moved to Queens, and I take care of a whole cat commune.
I might be in touch with you around Christmas.
And it's about 11 to 13 cats. Usually teeters around 15. You try and get most of them fixed. Some of them are still not fixed, so you get the pregnancies that slip by, new kittens come around. So people were sending me stuff for the cats, delivery bags of food, tons of food. I was paying for that on my own for the longest time. I was financing myself. So people, you talk about it on the show, and people take notice, like, "Oh, I want to help. How can I help?" And then, like I said, you open up the door, and there's these big boxes. It's really humbling, to know that, I'm just a guy talking about wrestling and stuff on the show, and the fans feel like, we're family. We got to help out. So, and especially, like I said, they listen around the world, and they knew New York was kind of the grounds. And then they know you from Queens, and they knew that Elmhurst Hospital is like, right, it must be like terrible. And I'm like, it's not as bad as the narrative that people were going with was that, people were dropping left and right here. I was telling you about that. And I was telling them, no, it's bad, but it's really not that bad. We're just inside, sheltering in place like you guys. But everybody's okay. And but everyone was very helpful. And again, just shout out to all the fans. So a lot of wrestling fans are probably listening to the show, and they know about you guys because last year you hosted some of our brother podcasts, the Wrestling Soup guys, my brother John is part of. They had the big thing here with the get-together for WrestleMania weekend. So they
Dude,
and wrestling fans and metal fans go hand in hand almost.
Dude, it totally goes hand in hand, man. We had one of our best weeks ever when WrestleMania was in town. Everybody who came in was fucking great.
And you're right by the Barclay?
We were right by the Barclay Center. Even when shit happened in the city, people would come here afterwards, and it was just an awesome week, man. I have to say, like, the crowd was good, but it was great.
Wrestling fans are the most loyal, dedicated. Any way they can help out. I mean, James has witnessed it himself with me. Of just again, I gotta say, if I have to go. Club business, wrestling industry. The wrestling industry has been wonderful to me during this time, and even during times of Christmas and birthdays and stuff. They reach out to you and what can they do for you and stuff. And again, you're just because they say that you're like a voice. That there's something they feel they connect to you. Right. They tune into the show. I've been doing this for almost 18 years. We started out doing wrestling hotlines. And then we segued into what was even before called a podcast. It was called internet radio.
All right.
Or just audio shows. So I've been doing this a long time, and again, you develop a fan base. And James was talking about wanting to start up a podcast, and I said you start out with maybe if you even have 12 to 20 people listening, good. And then you just build from there, and if you're committed to it and you really know what you're talking about, people will flock to you. And once they connect to you, they'll listen to you for years. I got people listening to us since 2005, so who were with us for the whole run. So, the podcasting thing. And outside of that, talking on the phone to a lot of people who I haven't really gotten at the old school phone conversations with. Where I've been on the phone with old friends for 3-4 hours at a shot. Where they had no time years ago. We had no time to catch up. So catching up with old friends. And as far as movies go, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I've wanted to see for the longest time. Like I just saw the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the other day.
That's awesome.
I love that movie.
It was okay.
When was the last time before the pandemic you actually were on the phone with anybody?
No, I'm on the phone a lot because even Jeff, I do stuff with Jeff here at Lucky 13, and I old school phone call. Me and Jeff always even talk about rather catch up on the phone than go back and forth with text. Me and you have talked about that.
And
a lot of
emails,
times.
I can't stand
emails. Yeah, I can't stand that out. So me and him work well together when it comes to that. I'm like, good, he's a phone call guy. And Melly's like, I'm not a phone call person, but Jeff is a phone call guy. So I'm accustomed, and bands usually like to get into stuff with me, and it's really difficult to go on text. And I'm just like, just call me. So they'll call me and just shoot the breeze. And again, you form more of a connection when you still talk to people old school. That they feel like, I want to play for this guy. Because really in a text, you don't really know who you're dealing with. You don't even know.
And so many things get misinterpreted,
So many things get misinterpreted. And you don't put an LOL. You might have said something too sternly, and they think you're a dick.
Then you're on the cover. Then you're on Metal Sucks the next day. Look at this piece of shit.
Early days of
do not play Lucky 13. Fuck those guys.
I'm writing you a 1-star Yelp review.
Again, I think to keeping the connection, I'm almost no matter of fact it's when there's a little issue, and I've told Jeff this even at shout out to the guys at Blackthorn, John the Doorman, and all those guys there who probably get to hear this, Alexi, Soundman, and all those guys. If there's an issue, it's like let Kev talk to them. You call them up and see what's going on. So but I don't mind doing that. And then again, when you got a gold conversation with people, you kind of just get to the root of it. You don't have to do a million texts back and forth. You have an understanding. You get off the phone. You feel better about the situation, and usually it's squashed. So I think the conversation side of show business is still very much there. It's just that the people who implement it, it just depends on who you're dealing with.
It's amazing that they actually teach fucking interpersonal communication as a college course in college.
Wow.
I had to take it as an elective. I went to Queens College for film production.
This is a phone
to massage your pets. Like,
oh my god, it was amazing. I took that course and I had to give a speech in front of the entire class. They're like, "Oh, you're so well spoken. You're so you're not intimidated." It's like, I know how to talk.
A lot of our customers need that course, I think.
That's another thing. You can kind of almost tell of someone who's accustomed. The funniest thing is if you meet somebody, even in a social setting or a personal thing, it's like, I don't talk on the phone, I only text. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So there's if I have something serious to tell you, you won't pick up the phone. It depends. I'm like, I'm not big on that.
I need to schedule my phone call, though. I'm like, we got to talk at this sort of time, and then it's got to be
I do that with you all the time.
As long as it's scheduled. Like when people just call me out of the blue and I see it coming up, I'm like, sometimes I just shut my phone off if I'm getting too many, phone calls. Right now I'm not, but I don't know. I had a couple times, I guess, during this, I shut my phone off.
It depends when they call you, too. Like with some people with me, if they call me before I have coffee, I usually tell them, hey, I haven't had coffee yet. Just letting you know.
If someone I know calls me before noon, I almost always pick up because that's bad news.
Exactly, yes.
Anybody who knows me knows I'm not up before noon, so something terrible has had to have happened.
Yeah, well, I have with my family members. If I see one of my family members calling me during the day, I'm like, fuck, what's wrong? Once in a while, it's just my dad going, hey, what's going on? Just want to say what's up. And I'm like, dick. Yeah, you dick. Like, you freak me the fuck out. What's going on?
Well, I think it's like anything else, even in general. Before it became, not so the norm to talk on the phone anymore. You would always kind of, even 10 years ago, screen your calls and be like, oh, okay, I want to talk to this person. Right. So I think it's always been, but now it's more, shoot to voicemail. You do that with you kind of pick and choose, it's always been.
And I have to say, anybody that usually is calling me, that I want to speak to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah. Very rare. I get some phone calls where I'm like,
Well, we all have our friends who always bestow bad news upon us. Yeah. So we know we could smell the bad news from a mile away. Yeah. And you guys know, being in this business, this is a bad call. Yeah. You can almost, but I got to pick it up because I don't want to hear a voicemail on this.
You got the friends who they text, and as soon as they text once, you put your phone down for a little bit, you know that's not the first one. It's going to be like, bang.
I hate when that happens. Like when you're talking to someone, it's like, ding, 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 ding.
Send it all at once. Yeah, that's how I feel. Send it once.
But I actually found out with some of the things, sometimes the phone itself, the messaging app, I have an Android, it breaks it down. If you write a long thing, it looks like you send it as one thing, but it breaks it down to 5 of them.
Oh,
those dicks.
Listen, most of the girls I know text like that. They'll be like, one sentence, bing, one sentence, bing.
So I said to her, send.
Yeah. You're a bitch. Most guys I know, they send me just a whole fucking thing, boom, one shot, you're done, But with Diane or Melody or whatever, it's always bing, 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 bing. I'm like, oh, fucking Christ. Just send it at
So
once.
once you get like 15 or 16 of those bings, like, you know, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Then you finally have to get on there and go, uh-huh.
Yeah. I'll just be like,
Oh no, if you write then you got it even worse.
well, you're just gonna. I always just write okay, because most likely it's all just fucking questions.
Because
Well,
it's
that's the
one of
whole
those.
thing. You get a whole novel, and then you just feel compelled to write back okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. Or
Well,
cool.
then you
Or
know what it is.
COOL, cool.
Yeah,
So
they take the time to write that, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, oh my God, I did this. Blah, 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 blah. Are you listening to me? Yeah. You're not listening to me. Blah, 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 blah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
Well, I get in trouble from that, like with Melody. Sometimes she's like, "Didn't you read the fucking text I sent you?" Because I'll miss one sentence.
Right.
And I'm like,
Oh,
"You didn't
boy.
say that. I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, she'll like screenshot it, circle it, send it back to me.
Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
yeah.
I was
She's got to be right. You know what I mean? She's got to tell me. She's got to tell me.
About
I'm
3
wrong.
years ago, I was moonlighting at this spot. I'm not going to say the name of it because it kind of sucked. It was near the Barclays. So I was just kind of there trying to feel out if I wanted to work there or not. And the manager there had this thing where we're a family, so we need to. Everybody's on this group text. And she used it. She would get drunk and just group text everybody just stupid shit.
Oh, man.
But every once in a while there'd be like a little bit of a work nugget in there. So if you missed it, it's like, why you're not reading all the text? It's like, I'm getting 100 of these a day. Anyway, at one point, this was fucking great. So the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to come and play the Nets at the stadium. And she's like, so we need to come up with a cool drink idea in honor of Cleveland because of LeBron James. It's going to be a busy night. And someone put, how about a Cleveland steamer? And I happened to catch that. I went, no, do not. They're like, why not? So I sent like the Urban Dictionary screenshot of what a Cleveland steamer is. And if you don't know what a Cleveland steamer is out there, anybody listening, you're missing out.
It's going to change your life.
It would have been one of those things that would have been forever in like those like shitty,
Shitty idea history.
right? Oh my god.
Ah, it would have been great.
Well, in hindsight, I should have went, yeah, it's Cleveland steamer.
We could pull off doing a Cleveland steamer here.
Right.
Right.
It has to be brown and it has to be
Yes.
served as a body shot.
Yes.
Well, I think we were talking Yoo-hoo and vodka, you know, there's.
You
Yeah, that'd be a good Cleveland steamer.
like a half melted ice cube of it.
You have you watched anything good lately? Any good horror movies lately?
Yeah, I saw the other day, well, about a week ago. Did you guys see Crawl about the crocodiles? Or did you see that yet?
I haven't
About the
seen
animals?
that.
That was a pretty good one,
Yeah?
actually. I saw that.
Haven't seen that.
No, yeah, it's
good.
it's like it's kind of like what is it like can't explain. It's not a horror movie, I would say. per se.
I know
You
about
know
it.
what I'm
Yeah,
talking
that
about,
came
right?
out last year, right?
Yeah, it's
it was
called
supposed to be
Crawl.
good.
It did very well.
The director's really good. I forgot.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's almost like Die Hard with crocodiles.
Right.
The Florida has
pretty
a
awesome.
hurricane, and the swamps overflow, and the alligators come into the city or
Awesome.
whatever, and they get into people's basements, and they start setting up shop there, basically. And people
people
went
are
down to
stuck
the
in the
basement and started
sewers and
getting
stuff.
killed, and
Yeah.
and I mean, it was a little over the top, obviously.
I
but
can't
it
wait.
was-
That's
a
on
lot,
my
a
list
lot
to
of
watch this
dismemberment in that movie. I was like,
gotta
wow, everyone's
watch that.
losing body parts left and right in that one. So I saw that one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was looking to see for a while. That was okay. I don't think it's as good as Pulp Fiction or any of his past.
I loved the ending of that fucking movie.
It took me by surprise because, to be honest with you, I didn't know the spoiler of it, and I didn't know how they were going to handle this
Charles
Sharon
Manson.
Tate thing with the Manson thing.
Yeah.
And someone said, you got to watch the end, it's sick. And I'm like, oh, what, they're going to kill the people, they're going to show that? But then when they did a twist that they went to a different house, that it's a different story.
They
Yeah.
kind of tipped their hand by having the guy be able to beat the shit out of Bruce Lee. It's like, okay, this is completely.
And I saw it. Bruce's family was not happy with
Yeah,
that.
no, they weren't happy
They were
with
not
that.
happy
They
with
weren't
that. I'm a
happy
big
with that.
Bruce Lee fan, so I could probably believe somewhere in the middle there's some truth to that he might have been a little arrogant. But it was funny that the daughter came out and said that Bruce actually never said he would beat Cassius Clay in a fight.
Yeah.
He actually said he would lose them in a fight. I'm like, who would remember that? Like, really? How does anybody know he said that?
Yeah,
Is it on record that he said that?
Yeah.
And Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali, who would win? Well, I guess if it was a boxing match, Muhammad would win. If it was no gloves or anything, probably Bruce
If you're
would
allowed
win.
to kick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you're allowed to kick, wouldn't
Oh,
Bruce win that
yeah.
automatically? I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I love Kurt Russell, so I'm
Yeah.
always down to see anything that he's in. So I thought Brad Pitt was great in it.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt had to grow on me over the years. Years ago, I was like, "Oh, this guy's horrible." Then over the
When
years, he got to
does
be
his
really
shit
good.
Right, he is great. When
He is,
When he,
yeah.
I rewatched 12 Monkeys not too long ago. I was like,
That was a
really,
good movie.
really
That was a
good
good
at that.
movie.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good movies. Fucking Seven.
He's great in Seven.
Legends of the
Seven-
Fall.
oh, Seven
was
was
very
Legends
good.
of the Fall. What was the one? California.
That was scary. That was ahead of its time. I
Yeah,
think. Yeah, with
yeah.
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, Juliette Lewis and
Imagine Julia
the guy
Roberts in
from
that.
David Duchovny.
Yeah, David Duchovny, Agent Mulder.
That's on now, like all the time. But what was some other stuff that I'm still? I'm seeing anything new that came out. So I'm not into the superhero movies like the Avengers.
I'm not into that shit either.
I'm not that
I'm not
into
into
it.
it
Like,
Did you guys see the one? Oh, God damn, I can't think of the name of it. It's where a dad is trying to introduce his kids to the new girlfriend who's going to be their new mom. So they go out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, the Lodge.
The Lodge.
That,
The
we
Lodge.
talked
I
about
didn't
that
see
last
that.
week.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
I
I'm
liked
going
it.
to rewatch it. It's actually, I'm thinking about it a little more.
Yeah,
I didn't
might
like
have
it
to
very
watch
much
that.
the first time around.
You know what I saw
I liked it. We
the
talked
other
about
day?
that last week. But
There's a movie called The Intruder with Dennis Quaid. Did
Oh
you see
my
that?
God, that's
With,
such a good
what's the name of that
fucking
girl? The good-looking black chick from Anchorman 2.
Oh, I don't know
Megan
her
Good.
name.
Megan
All
Good.
right.
She's in it, and the guy who's in Barbershop movie, that dude, Michael Early, I think his
Yeah.
name is. They're a couple, and they buy this big house off of Dennis Quaid. And Dennis Quaid winds up living in the house, like kind of, I don't know what they call that, nesting or whatever, when you hide in the house, someone's hiding or living in your house unbeknownst to you.
Oh, yeah.
So he sells them. He built an all underground tunnel and everything. He's living in the house, and he would, go and eat food out of the refrigerator. But it was a real weird take on it. This older, middle-aged white guy, like Dennis Quaid was the heavy in this. But he didn't really get real evil towards the end of it, and he killed his wife. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the whole ending of it, but it was a pretty good movie. It's
was
called
all
The
right.
Intruder.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it's
Oh,
called The
Dennis
Intruder.
Quaid sucks.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, the last horror movie I saw before everything shut down was The Invisible Man.
I wanted to see that.
I want to see that. You can get that. You can rent that.
It's on demand now.
It's good. It's not Claude Rains.
The first half better than the second half, but the first half
Yeah.
is fucking really good. And it's
They
like-
kind of lost me when they went whole Avengers tech.
Sure.
Was it better than Hollow Man, which I did not like with Kevin
Oh, yeah,
Bacon?
it's better.
It's okay.
Hollow Man's got some good kills in it, though.
Does it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I watched It 2 last night.
I want to see that.
That
It's
was-
on
that was
HBO
good.
now. I want to check that out.
I liked it. It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. The special effects are awesome. The clown looks fucking great. Just I thought it dragged on 20 minutes too long.
Oh, yeah.
The story kind of confuses me a little bit. Like everybody knows the story, so I'm not spoiling anything. But
Yeah.
it's like it's not real, but it's real. Like it's a imaginary, but it's real. I
Depends
don't.
on how much cocaine Stephen King
Yeah,
was doing in that particular
I
day.
guess I don't.
Although
get
I
it
think
that
the
much.
best scene in that movie was when the guy walks into the antique store with Stephen King's cameo. That was probably the best scene in the film where he just
good
shits
scene.
on himself.
That was a good
I
scene.
haven't seen it. I've heard Bill Hader's really good.
Bill Hader is really
Oh,
good.
he's in that too,
And listen,
yeah,
anytime you kill kids in a movie, it's a fucking plus for me. I don't know what it is. Like, there's something ruthless about killing a child.
So you like the old school Frankenstein where he threw the kid in the lake?
It's two things for me with killing a kid. Number one, it shows that everything's it's no holds barred. Anything
right.
can actually happen. Because if you see a kid in a movie and you don't think they're going to die, and then they do, it's like, well, what else could happen?
Yeah, exactly.
It opens it up. And number two, being a kid who loved horror movies, I wanted to die in a movie really bad as a kid. And come on, then you never see.
Well, look at what they did with the Halloween remake. I mean, that scene where he killed the kid.
Yeah,
snapped his
Oh, he
neck.
did, that's
One-
right. He
there
did kill
was
the
like a
kid. Yeah, he
gasp
did.
in
He
that
killed the
theater
kid.
Yeah.
when that happened. It was just like, oh shit, no, he's gonna get away, and fuck.
You know what I saw the other day? You guys remember The Good Son where they tried to turn Macaulay Culkin a
yeah.
bad guy?
Yeah.
That was on the other day, and I watched it. I hadn't seen it in a long time. Remember, there's a scene where they take what would be like a dummy, and they throw him on the parkway onto the thing, and the car's all. That pretty much killed his career because no one wanted to see the Home Alone kid like that.
Yeah.
So that was a bad. Even to this day, I think Culkin blames his dad
Yeah.
for choosing that role for him. They thought, let's go a big sharp right turn with this kid.
He was a good creepy kid.
He was a good
Yeah.
creepy kid because I
a
wanted
good
him to
creepy
die
adult, too.
when the woman was holding him over the cliff and had to choose between her son and him. I was like, let
Well,
Macaulay
you
go.
got to pick Elijah Elijah Wood because the Lord of the
Elijah
Rings
Wood was in that movie. That's right.
Royalties
Elijah Wood.
alone.
I've got one of my favorite Elijah Wood. So this woman I used to see ran into Elijah Wood at a club. Way this back 10 years ago or whatever.
Okay.
And Lord of the Rings was all the shit.
Dumb,
and there's Elijah Wood. As we all know, he's about 5'2". He's a little itty bitty thing.
Is he small? Yeah.
He's a really tiny guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not 5'2", but he's. And I'm talking about Candace here. Candace is short. She's like,
Yeah.
I could almost look at him in the eye.
Yeah.
But people are being, for the most part, very respectful. This is like an actual bumping club, and there's Elijah Woods over by himself, and this big giant lady over in the corner goes, "Oh my God, it's him! It's Frodo!" and runs over to him and picks him up and starts spinning around. Going, "I got him! I caught Frodo! I caught Frodo!" And then
poor bastard.
Yeah, then
The
there's
cops
Elijah
came
just
and
freaking
then-
out.
See, the only thing that would make that story better is if she said that in like a Smeagol voice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he kind of sounded like Smeagol when he was younger.
Well, you know what's funny? They cast him. You guys remember the old school horror movie Maniac with Joe Spinell?
The remake is
They
good.
cast that kid was the remake. He played Joe
Yeah,
Spinell's
really
character.
good.
It was good.
Did you see it?
I
I didn't
saw the
see it.
remake, yeah.
I didn't take.
Check it out.
It was
really,
really
I got
good,
to check
yeah.
it out because
I am not
Spinell
a
was so
remake
good
guy.
in that movie.
Yeah.
I am not a remake guy, and that's one of the ones I'm like, they did something a little bit different with it. It's actually almost the whole movie's through his point of view.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I got to check
And
it
it's
out.
done really well. It's, the director who did, oh god damn it, High Tension, I think, is the one who did that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I think I might be.
That was
Actually,
another
I'm
good one,
sure
High
I'm
Tension.
wrong about that.
That's the
It's a
same
French
director who did the Hills Have Eyes remake.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the one now. Whatever. It's a French director, and it's written. That's the guy who did. God damn it, the Martyrs.
Martyrs. Yeah. Okay.
Fucking
The
great.
best movie I've seen though this whole quarantine so far was The Hunt.
The Hunt is great.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God, you gotta watch
Who's
that.
in that?
It's who is in it? The
It's
guy.
got a lot of B movie actors.
There's a lot of
not
B movie. The guy from that show, you know that show, This Is Us. You ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Like the handsome guy that plays the fucking the whatever.
Dennis from It's Always Sunny is in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
But there's kind of these B stars, like people you'll recognize.
Is that it was almost like they pushed it back? It was like a political type of movie, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
pushed it back. Okay, now I know what you're
But
talking about.
people who got mad about it obviously hadn't seen it.
Yeah,
Because
They were hunting conservatives, or the conservatives were the hunters, or
They
something
were
like
hunting
that.
conservatives.
Okay,
It
okay.
is the opening part of the movie, and just leave it at that. That's what you know, and
Okay.
watch the movie.
and the movie, dude, the movie goes by really fast. It's really good. It's fucking fast paced. Like
if they trim the fat, there's no wasted moment.
So it's
No.
an action pick, or it's like an action horror pick?
it's an action. It's
comedy.
action.
There's a little comedy too. Yeah.
a lot of comedy.
Does
Oh,
it-
really?
it's,
Well, that's-
I mean, I wouldn't call it a comedy, but it's funny.
It's tongue in cheek.
Like the way
It is,
people
it
like
is.
the way
It's
people
tongue-in-cheek.
consider Zombieland a comedy.
Sort of, yeah. And that's
I
what it
saw
is.
that one, the double tap, the new Zombieland.
It was okay.
That was all right.
It
You
was
like
all right.
I like the first one.
I like the
better.
first one better too. You can't. I don't know. You can't
Recreate that?
You
No.
can't recreate
The
that.
the only two times that I can remember, not counting Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, where like the sequel could be considered better than the original, Empire Strikes Back and T2.
That and The Hills Have Eyes 2 was fucking really good too.
I thought the Hills Have Eyes was good. Too.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I
too.
will-
Aliens is almost, you could almost say.
Alien,
better
yeah,
than
Aliens
Aliens.
was good, as good as Alien. That is true.
What was that other one that was kind of like the fucking Hills Have Eyes, but it was like the
Wrong
rednecks?
Turn.
Wrong Turn.
Wrong Turn. The first Wrong Turn.
That was
great.
great.
That was really great. I
yeah.
love that movie.
I'm finally putting the third draft of my movie. They died with their tops off, which will be the greatest movie ever
Nice.
made.
Oh yeah.
Oscars all
title.
around.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's a
Sounds
good
like-
title.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, again, there's just so many. You realize how many movies you want to watch, but after a while, you get kind of restless just sitting around watching movies.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I can't. Yesterday I was so fucking restless. I couldn't sit still. I was like out running around. I was here, came back here, was playing some music, like working on some riffs, and like went back home, ate dinner, came back. I was just like I couldn't sit still.
Yeah, you literally at this, I think, age and stage have to be in the mood for a movie.
Yeah.
Like, when you're young, you can, like, everyone's like, you should marathon watch this and that, because I never watched any episode of, what's that, Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Everyone's like, you're into that whole thing, your old Kevin Castle, the whole theme, Dungeons and Dragons. Why don't you watch that show? I'm like, I'm not really into that. It's like,
with
but
you
now
on
you should marathon watch it, or you can, like, binge watch it.
Right.
I said, I don't think I can. I watched a little bit of a one episode, and it was, I don't know, I just couldn't, it wasn't capturing me.
It
Like, I
was
just got with
You and I
Sopranos.
think are very similar in that because for me, I watched the first few episodes, and the whole thing is like, this is nothing I've never seen. I've seen this all before done elsewhere.
Yeah, I've seen the movie Excalibur in 1981.
I've seen boobs, I've seen Excalibur. And it seems like it's trying too hard to make me like it.
Yeah.
I liked Game of Thrones.
Did you like it? Were you a diehard fan of it?
I wasn't a diehard fan.
Did you miss a bunch of episodes?
What's that?
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole when it first came out. I watched it, and I watched it from the beginning until I have never rewatched it and like binged it or anything.
Well, that's what, did you like it? Say as much as you like were you a Sopranos fan?
Oh, I love, dude.
I still watch The Sopranos.
Dude,
I just did 27 times a piece.
You guys still watched it.
Yes, I just recently watched it, and then all this week I was like, it's definitely nothing like The Sopranos. Like I can watch The Sopranos.
Yeah, me too.
I said to her because she had never seen it. I'm like, we can start it over again and rewatch it again. I could totally fucking do that. Yeah. And this week I was actually watching some. They were doing some interviews, some recent stuff. They just did a Sopranos reunion in 2019. Right, I don't know if you've seen. Did you see
I
that?
saw it. They had a convention and everything.
Yeah, it was really good. They had the whole panel up there, and they were talking to him about it, and that was really good. I could rewatch Sopranos shit constantly.
Did you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I did watch. I liked the first couple seasons, and it started to fall off.
Me too. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Some of the I actually just binged. I only seen a couple of episodes here and there. The ones with Ben Stiller are fucking great.
Oh, the thing in the eye? Yeah, that's when he got the toothpick in the eye.
There's only a couple shows I think that really were held through and through the whole time. I think The Sopranos was great. There was a couple shows I didn't care for. Those dream sequence shows I didn't care for.
That I didn't like.
I didn't care for.
Every show is going to have its handful of bad episodes.
It is, but 6 Feet Under to me though, man, I thought that was a fucking amazing. Did you watch it?
I used to watch it. I didn't watch it all the way through. I watched the first season, and for some reason I fell off. I don't know why.
6 Feet Under, I feel like was good fucking right through the whole, all the. I forget how many seasons. It was like 5 or 6 seasons. Well, I think that was actually good, like from beginning to end.
There was a time when Breaking Bad and Mad Men were on back to back, which is those are two of the best shows.
Those are great.
I was late to the party on Breaking Bad, just like I was late to the party on Dexter, which is something I thought I would have really loved, and I did end up loving Dexter, but I did not watch it when it was on and popular at all.
Same.
I'm kind of mixed with Dexter. I liked the John Lithgow season was good, but some of it's like
again. I liked the first 2 seasons, and then towards the end, it was just like
it got bad when fucking what's his name?
It jumped the shark.
It totally did. When what's his name was on it? Tom Hanks' son. Colin Hanks.
Oh, Colin Hanks. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's a horrible actor, and it was just. I thought that's when it was bad. Like that season, I did not like at all. Yeah. I really liked the first 3 seasons of Dexter, up until the John Lithgow character. But
Mad Men is maybe my favorite show of all time.
The one show I'm not into, and sorry to my brother Mike because he works for HBO. Was Westworld horrible?
I fucking hate Westworld.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like it. I'm with you on that. I hate it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I don't get it. Diane really likes it. The first season I fell asleep.
I fell asleep. Me too. I would fall asleep, and I had no inclination to go back and watch it on demand. Did you see the movie with Yul Brynner back in the 70s? That was good.
The movie was good.
That was a classic. But again, I don't even know who said, you know what? We should do a Westworld TV show.
Yeah, no.
Well, someone did. They got paid.
And I get. But did it do really well? Or did people like this?
It did really. The first season did really well. I don't think the second.
Again, the first season I watched, and I absolutely loved it. It was just, I don't know, hit me right in the wheelhouse, right with the perfect time or whatever. And then I couldn't wait for the second season. I had started. I stopped after the second.
Why did it fall off the rails though? Did they change characters?
To me, it felt like no, not really. But to me, it felt kind of like what they did with Lost, where they didn't think it was probably going to go past the first season, so it's like, let's just write ourselves. And they wrote themselves into a
sophomore slump.
Yeah. Right. It's like, who cares? Just puts a bunch of weird shit. And they wrapped it up nicely enough at the end of the first season, but then did another thing where it's like, well, now what? Like, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I couldn't get into it. Yeah. Not my fucking thing. I'm not a big sci-fi guy either.
I'm into horror, but not sci-fi.
Me too.
Not a Star Wars fan. That's pretty notable about me. I
only
saw the first Star Wars. Didn't see Return of the Jedi, even as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. I just didn't care for it.
I remember. I think it was what came out. I remember when I was a kid. I think it was Return of the Jedi was out. It was Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi was 83.
Empire Strikes Back is
80.
what then?
81. 80, 81?
80.
Okay.
whatever year, friggin' one of them came out, and Jaws 3D came out also the same
would've
year.
been
Jaws 3D.
83.
Yeah,
83.
yeah,
That was Dennis Quaid was in that.
83 was the year of the sequels.
Yes.
Or
So,
the trequel.
so I remember we had a choice. We could either go see fucking
Jaws 3D.
Jaws 3D or freaking Star Wars, and I remember I went to go see Jaws, and my brother went to go see fucking Star Wars.
You know, I watched that recently, and I didn't realize that Leah Thompson was in that movie, the mother from Back to the Future.
Yes.
I
And
didn't
it's
know.
so bad. I even
Isn't
knew
it
as a-
horrible?
I
Louis
even-
Gossett Jr.?
No, I even knew as a kid it was fucking horrible. Like, damn, I should have went to go see fucking Star Wars.
There was only like one death in Jaws 3D. It was
Yeah,
like
and the guy in the beginning where he gets his fucking arm,
Yeah.
like, and I just remember that with the fucking, the 3D glasses on, and the arm like comes at you, and the
It
fucking
looks like someone's throwing a cardboard shark at your face.
yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
The special effects were fucking really bad.
I saw that in the theater too.
Yeah,
And it is amazing how like the 75 Jaws still holds up.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just really does.
it
And,
does.
And Jaws, did you guys like Jaws 2?
I like Jaws too. I
like
didn't hate
it.
it.
That was pretty good
Yeah.
too.
It's a fine film.
It is
Yeah.
a fine film.
It is.
And Roy Scheider was such an underrated actor. When
Oh,
you really
yeah,
think
yeah.
about it, in the annals of history.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't really get mentioned when you talk about the greats.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like Paul Newman, Steve McQueen. I think he's up there. in my
Roy
opinion.
Scheider is kind of like what they say about Harry Dean Stanton, where he might be in
He's
some
another good
lousy
actor.
movies, but they're better because he's in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You should watch it just because he's in it.
Harry
Like,
Dean
it's-
Stanton is a very underrated actor. He's in a lot of
Harry
great
Dean
stuff.
Stanton, every movie he's in is better because Harry Dean Stanton.
I forgot Roy Scheider was in The French Connection with Gene Hackman.
Oh, my
I
God,
forgot
he's
all
great
about
though.
that.
What's one movie you could watch over and over again every time it comes on?
Airplane.
I was going to say any of the Naked Guns. I just love the Naked Gun. I mean, I just think
And
it's
Top
the
Secret's
funniest
right
shit.
there, right there.
And
Yeah.
it is amazing to watch O.J. Simpson in that and know what would go on to me. But then, like
what's even better
Nordberg
is-
was funny with the Nordberg when they're like, "What are you doing in Detroit?" And he got sucked under the car.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Where's Nordberg?" He's like, "He's in Detroit." And he's like, "What are you doing in Detroit?" And he got sucked under the bus and he's all the way to Detroit.
And
So
he
I'm
was,
just so
he was
funny.
turned down for the role as the Terminator in the Terminator because James Cameron thought he had too kind of a face. No
Yeah.
one would buy
Oh
into
my
that.
God, that's too
Which
funny.
apparently is true because
Yeah.
most of America thought that way too.
Yeah.
What about you, James? What movie can you watch whenever it comes on?
Oh man. Comedy wise, Brewster's Millions. I'm a huge Richard Pryor
that's a
fan.
good film.
All right.
John Candy.
John
is
Candy
amazing.
in that movie.
Anything with
Yeah.
John Candy. Well, you know what's another movie? The Jerk. Anytime the Steve Martin classic comes on, The
Yeah.
Jerk.
The
it's-
Jerk was the first R-rated movie I saw in the theater.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'd
My
seen.
parents
I got to
made
see
me go
Animal
see it.
House in '78 when I was
It was that
10
and
years
then,
old.
Wow.
that and then Caddyshack were the two.
That was a
And
great time
My
for movies.
Caddyshack, when I saw that, so I'm like trying really. I'm like, I know I'm being allowed to see an adult movie, an adult comedy. So like they're gonna be adult about it, and I know that I always would. My parents would get on me about making poop humor and farts and stuff. That's not funny. So there's this scene where Bill Murray throws the
The
baby,
Baby Ruth in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Murray doesn't do it, but he cleans it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this really seems like a shit joke. This has got to be a poop. I remember specifically thinking this. All the adults are laughing. I'm like, there's got to be something more to this I just don't get. Because this really seems like they're making a poop joke.
Yeah.
And adults are funny. And I should be laughing, but it's not a poop joke because it's not supposed to be because adults don't like that.
Yeah.
Well,
And so
then,
it wasn't until much later.
well, some of the people who saw that ended up forming Nickelodeon and made a career out of poop jokes.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys remember. You guys might be old enough. James is a lot younger than us, but do you remember they issued 2 releases of Saturday Night Fever back in 1977? There was the R
PG one.
and the PG one. And I remember being 9 and being so mad that my father took me to the lesser one, and I would see Saturday Night Fever. And it was because from your friends at school, you would hear about these things and the cursing and stuff. And we went to see the PG version.
and he's probably not like an attempted rapist in the
By the way, there were several rapes that went on. You don't realize in Saturday Night Fever, it was a lot more of a harsh
There's a lot of rape in that.
Very racist too. It was Saturday Night Fever was just, but it's obviously a New York institution movie. It's one of those movies
Yeah.
like The Wanderers, The Warriors,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Fever. To me, I'd throw Fort Apache, The Bronx in there too.
There's a lot of good New York movies though. Like
Serpico.
Serpico, Kings of New York.
King of Comedy.
What's Bad Lieutenant?
King of Comedy. Yeah.
Bad Lieutenant. Pope of Greenwich Village.
Pope of Greenwich Village is an underrated classic. I posted about it the other
After
day.
Hours too. After Hours is a great.
Yeah.
There's a
Dune.
There's a scene in Bad Lieutenant up by Farrell's. I mean, it's cool to see in certain movies the corners that still look the same.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of them out there though.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? Farrell's is there. The bar up on Prospect Heights or whatever. Saturday Night Fever. There's a couple fucking places. There was like a couple places in Bay Ridge that you'll kind of notice,
Yeah.
like areas.
There was a diner there, a particular diner.
and that was a
there
car
for years.
dealership.
Street Trash is another great fucking New York movie.
Street Trash. I never heard that one.
Oh, you never seen Street Trash?
No.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay, well, I'm going to say it right now. Watch Street Trash immediately.
Is it as good as you guys remember? It's not a New York movie, but all New Yorkers saw it. Class of 1984.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
tremendous
That was a great
movie. And he went on to direct The Sopranos. Van Patten.
Yeah. Listen, it's great to see what's it called? The guy who fucking did Gigi Allen's Hated. What the hell's his name?
He went on to The Hangover.
Yeah, he did The Hangover. He did. I don't know. He did a whole bunch of fucking famous comedies. and
The
stuff.
Joker's the one.
But yeah. What the hell's his name? Who's the director of the Joker? Todd Phillips.
Todd
Yeah,
Phillips.
he originally his first big thing was the Gigi Allen Hated documentary.
Oh, okay. I saw
yeah,
that,
yeah. And then from there he did The Hangover and all those fucking movies.
Oh, it's actually everybody who worked on Street Trash went on to do stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a good New York-based movie in years. Could
So
you
you
name
better
one in
watch-
the last 20 years?
Watch Street Trash and get back to me about it.
Is there anybody is there any notable people in there?
No.
Or it's just
No, it's
low budget?
It was all done in Greenpoint. Oh, it was 1987.
Oh,
Really low
87,
budget. The
really?
guy, he did a Steadicam by basically putting a camera on two 2x4s, and he does all these great fucking camera work.
surprised I never heard of it before.
The guy who directed it went on to be like James Cameron's not director of photography, but like his like go-to guy. It's just great. It's just great. It's a things make you melt movie, which is one of my favorite genres.
You know, it's a good one to New York movie. You ever see 29th Street?
No.
You ever see that one? That's a pretty good one too. With Danny Aiello.
All right.
Even The Professional, to a degree, is
I
a New
love
York
The
movie.
Professional.
I love The Professional.
That was such a fucking
That movie
was
was
a New York
fantastic. I'm going to clean them all.
Yeah. What's his name? Was in it?
You were actually rooting for him killing cops. It was like pretty amazing. It was like, I want to see him kill that whole force.
Yeah.
It was just guys doing their job. It was like, he's killing all the cops.
Yeah.
What was her name, that actress? Natalie. She wanted to be a big
Natalie
star.
Portman.
Natalie Portman. She's
Yeah.
like
That's
12
right.
years old in the movie.
Yeah.
But with John Reno.
Yeah.
I thought he would be a bigger deal. I thought that movie would launch him into
Yeah,
the
I thought so,
stratosphere,
too.
but it just didn't seem to.
He was so good in that.
Ms. 45 is another good New York movie.
Miss 45?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Abel Ferrara's earlier movie that the guy who did Bad Lieutenant did.
Oh, okay.
And Bad Lieutenant, of course, is also.
How long ago was Bad Lieutenant? Was that an 80s or a 90s movie?
I think it was late 80s.
It's one of the first
No.
NC-17 movies.
Harvey
so-
Keitel
Bad
just turned
Lieutenant?
81.
Yeah, that's
Unbelievable.
fucking crazy.
Jesus.
That fucking best scene was him in the fucking church. Like crying. Oh my god. I still can't. I can still imitate. What year was that? What did you think of the Nicolas Cage one in New Orleans?
That I didn't care for.
You know what?
I can't. The Nicolas
As
Cage.
long as you take away the thought that it has anything to do with the first movie, which it
Yeah.
doesn't, then it works.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah, I liked it. I saw it in the right mood.
Oh, 1992.
Was it 92? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
92.
92.
The year I graduated from high school.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was 87. Jesus.
Oh. You were 93?
91.
Oh, 91.
When did you graduate?
2010.
He's very old school oriented. He knows a lot of old school
Doing
stuff.
great.
Very,
Yeah.
very old school oriented.
All right,
I
kid,
thought-
go get me a beer.
Yeah. I thought you were older than that.
No, born in 91.
All right.
So my first R-rated film was Air Force One.
All right.
Harrison
You
Ford.
carry.
He was born right when grunge was coming in.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, well, yeah, I was
No,
born.
well,
I was
trust
born
me, I
around
lived
that.
in
He
it.
was
was
born the
coming
year
in
I quit
91.
doing acid.
Yeah.
I fucking.
What are you talking about? He wasn't born this year, dude.
Now I'm going to start doing acid.
Yeah.
Let's stop doing acid.
All right. I think we should start wrapping it up. We're like at an hour and 20. So, dude, thank you. What do you got? Any guys want to anything before we start wrapping it up?
Yeah, plug your band's website and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryder, check us out, facebook.com/RyderBand. We have our first studio record coming out, Killer Karma, in August. We recorded with Anthony Esposito from Lynch Mob. He produced and engineered the record. We have our second single from that record coming out in June 9th. So that that should be good. I'm getting on my videographer Greg Capra, who works for WWE, to finish the fucking music video that was shot here.
Shot here?
Nice. Yeah, I can't
So-
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, so
Looking
I'm
forward to
looking
seeing
forward to
anything
seeing
in
it
this
too.
Marvel
I
with
actually have a
people together.
production meeting with him on Sunday. He's going to let me see some of the stuff. I'm like, all right, well, I hope it's good, because he's been like, WWE's been cracking the whip on him, and he's like delivering every show for their network. So it's like, he said the past 2 weeks he's worked like 64-hour weeks, like
Nice.
each week. So,
Good.
but yeah, check us out. Stay safe. Wear a fucking mask. Take precaution. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
And it is
it's hard
real.
to tell people not to be stupid.
Yeah.
That's
They don't realize it.
not going to listen.
I'll say one last thing for everyone. Oh, we need to reopen the economy or whatever. You need to have people in order to have a fucking economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I think people are probably more than ready for that. That's working with them, as I work with Ryder, and shout out to Apparition. Working with them. I was rocking their face mask before. And Damn Your Eyes is another new band that I'm working with. They've all played here before. Great
Yeah.
bands. Everyone itching to get out and get playing again. And hopefully that could be some point this summer. Again, if guesstimation, hopefully we could be back in action in August. Maybe, knock on wood.
Yeah.
As far as everything else goes, shout out to anybody who's listening from Don Tony and Kevin Castle show, which is on every Monday night after Monday Night Raw. We're on Pandora, so everybody can check it out. It's on 11:15. Usually we go till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every Monday night, right after WWE Raw. So you can check it out on Pandora.
Cool. All right, guys. So hopefully we'll see you guys sooner rather than later. And Andy, anything you want to plug? No.
Yeah, listen to my band. You should.
All right. check out Eat the Band.
Name of the album is Songs of Thanks. We were going to get in the studio with Martin BC over the summer, but we're pushing that back probably till fall. So we're going to record a second album. But right now, if you want, we have one video up on YouTube for the song Cookie Bucket. And you just put in Cookie Bucket, it should come up. If not, put Eat Cookie Bucket, and then it'll come up.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Later.
Love you.
Peace.